We all know that the Dogman is a scoundrel. And with scoundrels, you don't want anything to do with them. That is, unless they can help you win a war. I'm Ryan Davidson, and I have been fascinated by the Dogman legend, those who have seen him, and those whose lives have been touched by him. This is Lookin Back and a Grinnin. Episode 14, War Dogs. This is Lookin Back and a Grinnin. I hear you have a Dogman ditty for me.
Oh, I got a Dogman ditty, all right. I got a Dogman ditty straight from the U.S. Army.
Straight from the U.S. Army?
That's right.
Well, sir, that's great news. That's great news. Trace the phone call. Now, sir, would you mind just telling the audience your name and your rank? I believe that's the word for it.
For the record, my name is...
I'm sorry, was that...
I said, my name is...
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, can you spell that for me?
It's your show. But you can call me whatever you want. I want to protect my anonymities.
Well, if it's okay with you, I would, from here on out, like to just refer to you as Army Man. Is that okay?
I'll leave it all to you and what you call me.
Okay, well, thank you, Army Man. So, Army Man, first of all, thank you for your service. And will you please just kind of give us a little bit of insight as to why you wanted to call Lookin Back and a Grinnin'?
Well, I had myself a run-in with the Dogman back in 1983, and ever since then, I've had my feelers out there for any kind of Dogman activity, and that's when your little podcast popped up on my radar.
Oh, you found our podcast. So nobody told you about it. You found it on your own.
I got it through the Dogman Underground.
Oh, okay.
You can find the Dogman Underground on the dark web if you know how to get to that, Mr. Fancy Podcaster.
You know, I'll give it a shot, sir. I mean, I've always wanted to take a look. Now, Army Man, I want to know, will you kind of elaborate on how you saw the Dogman? I mean, so it was in the battlefield, I assume, and was it a wild Dogman? Can you give us a little bit more info about that?
Okay, let me paint you a picture. It is 1982. I am young, cut, and ready to kill in the United States Army. I'm stationed out in...
I'm sorry. Can you just? Did you say?
That's right. That's in South Carolina.
Okay.
So, it was me and another guy that you might know trying to whip a scrappy young bunch up into soldiers when we got dropped with a Dogman project from on high.
A Dogman project?
That's right. Now, full disclosure, the other guy that was in charge of this platoon with me was none other than your father, Jerry Davidson.
Jerry Davidson? You knew my father?
I heard you talk about him multiple times on your little podcast here, and I thought I'd call in to give you a story that you might not know about your old man.
Well, Army Man, I appreciate that, but like, how can I know that you're telling the truth?
In one of your last episodes, I think your brother got a badge from the BPA. Is the number on that badge?
That's amazing. This is amazing. So, Army Man, please tell me, what was my father like? I really didn't know him that well because he kind of disappeared when I was young.
Well, in the Army, Jerry Davidson was my right-hand man. See, Jerry and I were the same rank, and we adopted a leadership style called the whip and the hanky. Or if you're a bunch of pigs, good cop, bad cop.
Okay. All right. I think our listeners have heard of that.
I would get up in their faces, tell them to push dirt, maggot. Get on the fucking floor, maggot. I'm gonna kill you. I'll kill your whole family. And then Jerry would come around and kind of massage him a little, be like, you could just do push-ups, right? Don't worry, he's probably not gonna kill your whole family. He'll probably forget. That kind of thing. So here we were in South Carolina, and we're trying to whip this sorry group together, and lo and behold, the brass dropped this Dogman project into my lap.
So this comes all the way from the top.
This comes from the tippity top, brother.
Oh, wow. How did they turn the Dogmen into soldiers?
Well, that's the thing. We never could.
I'm assuming because you mean that the Dogman is not disciplined by nature.
That's exactly correct. The Dogman is a shifty, layabout soldier. The kind of soldier you find just sleeping in his bunk when everybody else is lining up for formation. Or the kind of soldier that always had dirty boots. He never polished anything. He would shit with the door open in the lavatory. It was disgusting.
I guess maybe like what I would like to know is what is it like to try to train a Dogman for war?
I couldn't get to him. I would beat that motherfucker up and down the goddamn runway, marching him left and right. But the next thing, I turn my back and he's gone. He's off drinking somewhere, trying to finger somebody. I gotta give it to Jerry Davidson, though. Jerry Davidson was the only one that could kind of speak his language. I don't know, maybe because Jerry always grew up, he had all these stories about growing up by scumbags and hillbillies and crazy assholes out in the woods of Michigan. I truly pitied you and your family for being up there. But yeah, somehow it was like a real lean-on-me type of situation where, Jerry Davidson's a tough principal and the Dogman was just eating up whatever the fuck he said.
So, I guess maybe the proper question to ask is, did my father, help them escape?
Well, here's the situation. Before any of that could go down, 1983, Granada. We are about to go to war with the island nation of Granada. Us and a coalition of 6 Caribbean nations are about to go and fuck up that island. It was the 75th Ranger Regiment, the 82nd Airborne, and the Army's Rapid Deployment Force. We had Marines, we had Army Delta Force, we had the Navy SEALs, and we had about 50 dogmen to drop in just to cause chaos.
50 Dogmen?
That's right. Everybody knows the official name of this operation was Operation Fury. But secretly, it was Operation Furry. F-U-R-R-Y.
So, I assume, Army Man, that you are calling in reference to the Clarkston image. Is that right?
You know about the Clarkston image. You do know your stuff.
For the listeners at home, the Clarkston image is a very, very famous photo of the Dogman in the background of a wartime photo, believed to be Granada.
Yes. In fact, Private Clarkston was in our platoon. He was our photographer's mate assigned to us to capture every glorious image of war. Now, since you mentioned the Clarkston image, you notice that dark shape in the background, the Dogman. He's fleeing from the battle scene, and that is exactly why we could not use them. You see, the original plan was to drop the Dogman into Granada to cause chaos and terror. Every platoon was assigned their own Dogman. Believe me, it was hell on earth.
So did the Dogmen fight?
No, that was the thing. They brought these Dogmen in to fight, but we couldn't get them to do shit. When they landed right in a bar, so they just started drinking and trying to pick up chicks, even though they didn't speak the Dogman language. Goddamn American English. And, well, one thing led to another. They all just got drunk and passed out in generally the same area. And when the war broke out, they just started panicking and running around all scared and drunk. See, that Dogman in particular was assigned to my unit, but I could not coax him over because he was too drunk and scared. They ran away from battle.
With all these Dogmen like running amok during the battle, I mean, what did you do?
I yelled at him. That's all I got. I'm the yeller. I'm the whip. Jerry Davidson was the hanky, and, well, to be honest with you, he was really the brains of the whole group. He was busy keeping the whole platoon together, and all I could do was yell at people to get the fuck up and fight. But it's not like we really needed a lot of that anyways. Granada lasted for 4 days. We wiped through them. And that's not to mention the, 8,000 troops that were sent by a coalition of island nations from around, and the Jamaican army. We really just stomped the shit out of like 5 guys.
Well, Army Man, have you talked to my father recently?
Well, it was after we got back from Nada, and Jerry and I think, having a taste of real danger out there, I think we both decided that our paths should go elsewhere. The army was great. Man, I loved yelling at people. It was the thrill of a lifetime to get in some people's faces and really just chew their asses out. If anything, I'd say that's the only thing I really miss about the army. But Jerry, I think he felt a call to adventure, and he ended up joining the BPA. They recruited him after that and kind of became their Dogman whisperer, or Dogman liaison, Dogman ambassador, as much as you can become an ambassador to the nefarious and disgusting Dogman.
So, my father was an agent?
Oh yeah, that's right. He became a company man right out of the army, and after that I just kind of went off and started a t-shirt business in Gulf Shores, Alabama, where you could come in and get yourself big titty bikinis that'll make your skinny girlfriend look like a big bitch with big old tits. We got some Big Johnson in NASCAR laying his dick right against the car, and it's just as long as the car. We also got a bunch of stuff for the kids.
Army Man, first off, I want to thank you for your service and for trying to tame these godless dogmen, even though it was all for naught. And secondly, I want to thank you for reaching out to us and giving us this information. Most importantly, giving me the information about my father. It's so precious little.
Whatever did happen to old Jerry Davidson, I'd like to, sit down and see what that guy's like nowadays.
Well, Army Man, he's been missing for a very long time.
What?
Yeah.
All right, boy. Offline, you gotta tell me everything you know so I can put out my feelers.
You'll do that? You'll do that for me?
I can't promise anything, but if there's anything on the dark web about Jerry Davidson and possible Dogman activity, I'm sure I've already been pinged.
The dark web. So, yeah, that would be great, Army Man. I would really appreciate that. That would be amazing. So what you're saying is that it's okay for the show to keep in touch with you.
Oh, I'll be in touch with you.
The mystery of that photo has finally been solved, and we're going to have closure on that finally. But a dogman is not meant to serve. Service dogs are meant to serve, and soldiers are meant to serve, and servers are meant to serve. But what I'm trying to say is, you can't control these dogmen when they're built to disobey. See you next week.